Mr. Rogers, as we begin the interview, I thought one of the things we could jump into, and you're here to help promote the Passavant race that late next month. For somebody who has either ran before and is no longer running, or wants to get into running, how's the best way to re-enter or start running at an older age?
Very good question. I meet lots of people who talk about that. I was at the Boston Marathon this past weekend, and 26,000 runners. Some of them had taken 20 years off from running, from their high school days or something. Anyway, it is a sport that's easy to enter or return to. All you need are the right running shoes, some running gear, shorts, t-shirt, or singlet. I would go to a specialty running store to get the correct shoe fit, shoe type, and I would begin with a running, walking program 3 days a week. That's a program devised by a fellow named Jeff Galloway, who was a former teammate of mine at Wesleyan University way back in the late 60s. But he's coached about 1 million Americans to use this method. It's a great way to avoid injuries and to build your cardiovascular and, leg strength.
One of the things I've noticed as I've gotten older, the importance of stretching, not necessarily before the run, but after the run, especially the hamstrings.
Yeah, it's true that stretching, and today people are using yoga to do kind of a more complete stretch after a run. But that's what I always did too, Gary. I never stretched much before. I always try to begin at an easy pace. Actually start walking a lot before you run. I'm 64, so yeah, I don't move like I did when I was 28 or 38 or even 48. So every 5 years, 10 years, we're a little tighter maybe in the hips. But I think this sort of thing, this kind of work, stretching or yoga, swimming, biking, this kind of combination of efforts, you don't have to go crazy with any of them. You don't have to be a marathoner. To do an event like the Passavant Powerade 5K is terrific, because it helps your heart, helps your whole body, and I think running and walking, these kinds of activities lift your spirits,
And I don't think people should get hung up on distances. Shouldn't we run more for a specific period of time, for instance?
I agree with that, too, because as you get older, of course, you're not covering as much distance, and I think we do need to always kind of analyze how we're feeling and stay in touch with the people that might help us if you do get some kind of an issue like Achilles tendonitis or shin splints, and maybe then you go to a physical therapist at the sports clinic, that sort of thing. Most injuries, you can self-treat some of them yourself with icing, that sort of thing, and Advil and rest, and a little of that cross-training. I think swimming is a great alternative to running.
As we look at the sport itself, other sports have evolved, basketball, football, and it has to do with a lot with the equipment. I haven't seen that much of an evolution in running or a change of equipment and whatnot. Have you, and what has been the biggest evolution?
Well, there has been an evolution in the change of the clothing. For example, winter clothing, you've got the winter weather gear that protects you from snow, cold, and rain, much better than the old woolen clothing they used to issue to every athlete in high school or college. And in summertime, they've got protective gear, some that even protect you from UV rays, and shoes, more selections for men and women than there was in the 70s, let's say. The specialty stores will have that sort of equipment. There's products like Goo that you can run with, or, of course, Gatorade is used widely by a lot of runners. So I think it's important to take a look at how you take care of yourself as an athlete. Think of yourself as a professional. That's the way to do it. You don't have to be out there every day like them, but the idea is to kind of use common sense with all these things.
As we get ready for the Olympics this summer, is there anything that excites you about the U.S. distance running? And along those same lines, can anybody beat the Kenyans?
That's a great question. Here at Boston Marathon, the 116th Boston, the Kenyan men and women won again, but an American guy took fourth place. He ran really strongly, Jason Hartman from Minnesota. We have our strongest men and women's team ever at London. But I think the athletes most likely to challenge the Kenyans will be the Ethiopians. These two countries are winning most of the marathons all over the world. which is kind of a complicated issue. But I think our athletes will do well. There's always upsets and surprises. I love the Olympic Games, and I will be tuned in.
All right, Bill.